Hello indie game fan, Halloween falls on next Monday, so the releases are kind of weird, with some developers choosing to delay until that day itself, but a decent week begins with I See Red, a stylish top-down action roguelite where you fight your way through spaceships in search of revenge, with a pretty bold choice in artistic direction, so let's see if it pays off. Our first spooky title of the week is Paper Cut Mansion, another action roguelite with an interesting papercraft art style where you're exploring the ever-changing manor as you try to uncover its secrets. Of course, with the art style, it's not horrifyingly scary, but just has that spooky theme with an emphasis on unique AI for each enemy type with unpredictable behavior, adding to the replayability. The Frog Detective series has been fairly popular, with the original releasing in 2018, the second entry in 2019, and now Frog Detective 3 Corruption at Cowboy County is out this week. These games have good, humorous writing, which is the main appeal, with some quirky characters as well, with this technically being the last game in the series, although it should be able to stand on its own as well. Despite the rather, shall we say, questionable voice acting, Endoparasitic looks like a fascinating horror action title where 3 out of your 4 limbs were ripped off, but you still have to find a way to survive. If you're unable to tell from the footage, everything in this game is mouse controlled, so horror, getting over it might not be too far off a description. If you enjoy physics-based titles, Robotry might be one of interest, looking fairly similar to Heave Ho, where you play as a bipedal robot with each leg being controlled by one thumbstick. It is part puzzle game, part physics simulation, where more interestingly, there's no jump button in this, where you instead have to manipulate the legs in order to do what you want, with multiplayer support as well. Bigger games begin with Relayer Advanced, a mecha strategic RPG from a Japanese developer which did release in consoles in March this year, getting this enhanced version for Steam release looking pretty alright.
If you could listen to the noise of history, then you would hear by the sounds of the Victorian Age that the world changed forever.
The Victoria series of grand strategy games dates back to 2003, with the second entry in particular being tremendously successful, so 12 years and many DLCs later, Victoria 3 is out this week. Set in the same 19th century time period, where you lead world nations to etch your place in history, coming to us from Paradox, who are known for this type of game.
Charge of a young society. You will meet the people back then, high and low, over cultures across the globe. They are the beating heart of your nation and form powerful groups with needs and desires. Listen to their calls and let it influence reform, or turn a deaf ear to protect what is proven and stable. Your politics will decide where you want to go, but your economy, how far you'll come. Taxes, production, trade, and construction. Play these cards right, and you can harness the Industrial Revolution to turn your cities into titans. This is the engine you will need on the global stage. Use pacts, threats, and bluffs to secure your place in the sun. Anything done by war can be achieved with diplomacy, but you can decide when push comes to shove. Here you write the stories, and over time, the history of your world will be carved into the map. What will your society be like? What is the sound that will echo over continents and be heard over the noise of time as you create your grand tomorrow?
Another spooky title of interest is Yomawari Lost in the Dark, coming to us from Japanese developer NIS, and is technically the third entry in this series. While it looks cute, it is a full-fledged survival horror game with items to scavenge, puzzles to solve, and monsters to avoid, being perfect for this time of year. Smaller games begin with the pixel art roguelike platformer Astral Flux, looking to have decent action and a good look. CESSPOOL is a great looking pixel art JRPG, but the developer describes it as being about mental exhaustion and astronaut monkeys, so of course it got my attention. Dungeon in a Bottle is a decent looking pixel art precision platformer where the developer describes it as about having to choose the right kind of jump and looks quite challenging. Golden Light of Rose is a free prologue demo of Golden Light, released in March this year, the very weird survival horror first-person shooter, so check it out if you're curious and perhaps pick up the full game as well. Package Rush is a good-looking casual strategy game that looks kind of like a board game where you're building delivery routes in the city for packages, looking kind of neat. I just noticed that there are quite a number of third entries on this list, and such is the case with SIMULACRA 3, an FMV horror title that makes you search through someone's phone with plenty of spooky stuff to be found.
These disappearances are getting out of hand. The police reports show a linear growth at the start, but over the past few weeks it's growing exponentially. I've been digging through the files and I noticed these symbols. It's like an omen.
I've had my eye on Titanium Hound for quite a while. Since this pixel art action platformer looks good, we are piloting this awesome looking exoskeleton as you uncover a global conspiracy. Let's kick off the top 5 with Army of Ruin. Yes, yet another Vampire Survivors style bullet heaven roguelite, but A, it looks pretty good, and B, it comes to us from the developer of Ziggurat and Farm Together. But the pedigree alone makes this of interest. I last showcased Last Command during my coverage of Tokyo Game Show, where this is a pixel art title that combines Snake and bullet hell shoot 'em up, looking like quite the challenge. Using Snake controls in games is certainly not a new idea, but the addition of progression systems, challenging bosses and some insane looking attack patterns makes this especially of interest. One of the big winners of the recent Steam Next Festival is Cosmotier Starship Architect and Commander, where this is a sandbox spaceship building management title that looks very ambitious. Not only are you able to build and customize your own starship, even being able to eventually construct gigantic battlecruisers, the internal workings of the ship must be there as well in terms of facilities and defenses, and then you're also able to explore the galaxy. I see this possibly being on a RimWorld level of popularity, provided the systems are deep enough, with near endless possibilities in terms of the types of ships you can build.
Umgebung vorsichtig mit Kartografiemodul erkunden. Technische Infrastruktur, wenn möglich, wieder instand setzen.
Perhaps the horror game of the month is Signalis, one that looks pretty old school, choosing to go with that PSX era look, and in many ways looks to be heavily inspired by the original Resident Evil. However, there are more cosmic horror overtones, where you are exploring an off-world government facility that is, of course, filled with all sorts of monsters. Our protagonist is also a replica, which is some form of android, tapping into that end of things as well, about what it means to be alive, with a fantastic look and tense atmosphere.
Nur gemeinsam können wir die Sicherheit unserer Nation gewährleisten.
Now, I'm not a horror game person in general, so it will be no surprise that the slightly more light-hearted Dave the Diver gets a mention, an underwater action game mixed with a management sim, where you're exploring and hunting fish by day and running a sushi restaurant at night, with monstrous sea creatures and a central deep sea mystery to uncover. You can watch this video for more great indie games.